I think so. We just didn't make it out in time. The doctor is dead. Must have happened too fast for him to regenerate. Let's go get ambulance back to Unify.
G'day little nippers and welcome to the show! So I recently started watching the old series of Doctor Who again. Oh, not the really old ones from when Doctor Who was a genuinely new phenomenon that gripped people's imagination of the sci-fi genre, in much the same way that Star Trek and Star Wars and other equally new spacey themed shows did back then. I mean, I started watching the first of the new series starring Christopher Eccleston in 2005. Honestly, there were some really good episodes from that era. Now that CGI was available to them, something that the older generations could have only dreamed of, Doctor Who could quite literally take the stories and episodes anywhere they wanted. From the furthest points of the universe to the bleak and uneventful first half of 21st century London, the creators seemed to know that the fan base was breathing down their neck, as there was still much love for the older Who generation. But for the most part, it worked really well. Almost every episode had something new or a clever science fiction reason for an alien disturbance on Earth. And they really respected the lore and stayed true, nearly every time. But to be fair, there were discrepancies that could easily be overlooked by the audience, and the acting ability by everyone involved certainly seemed to help. It was a show that seemed to question the very limits of what was possible or impossible. And the thing that made it all the greater was the fact that it would have been so easy to make this series a joke. To oversell on the comedy, to put down the main character as just a, overactive goon that was unlikable. But as I say, as the series went on, I thought that the real effort they put in really paid off, and only seemed to increase as David Tennant assumed the role shortly after that. Thus came the golden age of New Who. The episodes gave the character of Doctor Who a lot of depth and true insight into the side of Doctor Who audiences had not yet seen. A glimpse into the true results of what a man like that would have on a modern Earth not too separate from our own. However, to me, everything changed when Peter Capaldi took over.
And we're off! Fingers on buzzers! Are you feeling lucky? Are you ready to play the game? Who's going to be quick?
Now, changing in directors or whatever crew were replaced aside, think about it from a story point of view for a second. The Doctor has been through a lot, and the types of episodes that were being put out now, quite frankly, they were, what's the word again?
After me. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Very clear. Listen. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Gone were the days of scary gas masked zombie children whose genetic code were rewritten by medical nanites. Jeez, I sound so intelligent saying it like that. And instead we got dinosaurs. Lots and lots of dinosaurs. Why? This, I feel, summed up the Capaldi era for me, as no true thought seemed to be put into the story anymore. The character that had been through so much and done so much, and, now had been made into this almost schizophrenic imitation of a man who had random outbursts of anger, sadness, sporadic happiness. It didn't feel like the Doctor anymore. However, nothing I saw could have ever prepared me for what happened next. So the Doctor regenerated. Again. which stretches the law a little, as didn't Matt Smith say?
I can change 12 times, 13 versions of me, 13 silly doctors.
Okay, so you're number 11, so...
Ha, are we forgetting Captain Grumpy? Are we forgetting Captain Grumpy? Huh? I didn't call myself the Doctor during the Time War, but it was still a regeneration.
Okay, so you're number 12.
Well, number 10 once regenerated and kept the same face. I had vanity issues at the time. 12 regenerations, Clara. I can't ever do it again. I can't ever do it again. I can't ever do it again. This is where I end up.
But, okay, maybe this is part of the Time Lord's life cycle. Maybe they have a few generations of, you know, being male and the rest of their life is then devoted to being female. Actually, no, the Doctor Who was never a Time Lord. Okay, well perhaps her new personality will be interesting.
That's what you're going with? Yep.
BBC, what are you doing? You took a magnificent character through so much, made him develop relationships that were worn down, graded on, rested on and broken, took the audience on so many journeys through time and space to be now left with this. Where do I begin? Leaving aside the fact the Doctor is a woman now, don't worry, we will get to that in a minute, the episodes seem to be a downgrade from their former quality. Seriously, what happened to the connective story and emotionally driven characters? That's all gone now, and the Doctor has three, count 'em, 3 companions. Why? One of the reasons that the characters in the Tennant era, for example, were so successful is because that there were fewer of them. So much more time could be dedicated to the development and the personal journeys that each one of them took, as it really should be when you think about it. When you have too many characters, it can become difficult to divide your attention and emotional energy to each one, and that's even when they're built up to be interesting and full of depth, which sadly this series was severely lacking. Doctor Who in this era seems bland, childish, and doesn't seem to remember the types of people that she had been before.
Because it's not a game, Kate. This is a scale model of war. Every war ever fought right there in front of you. Because it's always the same. When you fire that first shot, no matter how right you feel, you have no idea who's going to die.
Apple bobbing! I love apple bobbing. That's what you're going with? Yep.
She acts like that whiny friend that wants to keep partying when everyone else just wants to go home. Now, the fact that she is a woman in Doctor Who now might not be a bother to some, but to me, this plays a big part to the overall state of the show, and this is why. Doctor Who has always been a lonely old man, searching all through the cosmos for purpose and meaning in the long life he still has left. Through that journey of meaning, he sometimes loses his way and gives into the violent and emotional negativity he always bears with him for the things that he has done. So he needs companions who are understanding and supportive, yet also don't let him fall down the path of cruelty. Making Doctor Who into a woman kills off any kind of trend and natural development and progression that the Doctor ever had. By introducing 3 companions who just felt like they, you know, aren't there for any real purpose other than to say, look, here we are. I mean, what do you really know about Yaz? What do you really know about Graham? What do you really know about anyone?
That's what you're going with? Yep.
Another huge letdown is the fact that the true mystique and intrigue about the mysteries of the Doctor's origins, Time Lords, or even the mysteries of what might lurk in the universe for that matter, are now just straight up given to us in this series. Anything connecting die-hard fans to the franchise is severed. Seriously, what is there left to explore in Doctor Who now? There isn't anything left for us to get invested into and really care about anymore. Making the Doctor able to regenerate as many times as he, she, it likes doesn't add any sense of threat or ongoing fear of the inevitable. Explaining how the Time Lords came into being murders any mystery, and changing the Doctor's personality from a fun, classical and culturally significant character into some kind of whiny, preachy and hugely judgmental impersonator hidden beneath a veil of false quirkiness and, you know, all the things that modern filmmakers think resonates with young people today, dates it badly.
Right then, troops. No, not troops. Team. Gang. Fam?
How do you do, fellow kids?
Overall, Doctor Who is now like opening your presents the night before Christmas. When you wake up, there isn't anything there that you didn't already know about, and you find yourself as you're opening the presents once more that you even start to get outright angry and disappointed as you had much better ones last year.
36, but last year I had 37!
Yes, well, some of them are quite a bit bigger than last year.
I don't care how big they are!
It's a real shame, as I used to be a huge fan of Doctor Who. Though sadly I had to naturally stop watching after the first couple of episodes of Matt Smith's era, due to other series just simply taking my interest. But thinking about it, I can certainly imagine the shock and horror of die-hard fans the show would have left after following the Doctor's journey all the way to where it is now, and just keep getting more and more angry and disillusioned at the franchise that they had loved so much. Doctor Who, a show ironically like a space mission gone wrong. The launch was exciting, the flight was swift and impactful, the time in space was fun and energetic, but in the end everything just got burned up on entry. Take care, little nippers. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and, if you can, support me on Patreon. See you in a while, crocodiles!